Hey guys, and welcome to a Clash of Titans as the Mighty Logic leads the Warriors of Chaos up against Flex Prime, going by a different name here of Kirin, and the High Elf forces on Pillar of Bone. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking through a few mistakes, and this battle's full of kind of things I like, things I dislike. So we're going to talk about them a little bit more and explain my point of view on how to improve on these positions. But for the Forces of Chaos, we'll go through them first. We actually have a box kind of coming in from the Warriors of Chaos, which is rather interesting. You almost never see this from the Chaos Forces, and it looks like they have the Soul of Damnation hidden in the middle. That's going to be used to try and pound down the High Elves. Now, if they haven't bought Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, this bad boy can certainly pay for itself rather well. If they have, though, also deploying it kind of hidden in the tree so it can loop shots up and over is also a good answer. For the main battle line, it is a mixture of Chaos Marauders, and Chaos Marauders are great weapons, going cheap, cheerful, how do you be here, ready for a good scrap, dotted all the way along. It looks like in the secondary line we do have some Mirror Guard as well, as just more cheapful Marauders going all the way around. We do have a unit of Chaos Trolls, which are armoured, hiding in the back as well. I don't get to see these guys terribly often. They do look particularly grotesque and horrible, but a nice counterpunch unit. Also have the Everduck, Suffroyal, the Ever Watcher, looking absolutely cheeky as always, coming in with some pretty good spells, Final Transmutation and Searing Doom. Really good set of stuff there. And it looks like two Exalted Heroes up in the skies as well, both coming in with the competitive tip pick, which is the Mark of Khorne in the skies. Now for the Force of the High Elves, we have double Dragon Princes, and I've paused this battle at the start because I want to talk about the Hell Cannon shots in a second. We have double Dragon Princes, some Rangers on the flanks, Spearmen, Silver Guard in fact, dotted throughout the front line, and in the secondary line, double Lothran Sea Guard as well as the Everqueen's Court Guard, and Teclis on horseback. Flaming Sword of Rune, Regrowth, Net, Flock of Doom are his poisons of choice, as well as Fiery Convocation, which is bound. Now, the reason I want to talk about this battle in particular, as you can see the formation of the High Elves and the formation of the Chaos both come into pretty big question here. All round, I actually really don't dislike having units like the Sisters and the Lothran Sea Guard in tightly packed formations, but there is a big problem with this, and that is when you see a Hell Cannon across the field, you have to spread wide. Spearmen, again, tightly packed formations, don't hate it whatsoever. It does mean they will indeed hold that little while longer, and because the Sisters are going to be doing some of the heavy lifting in this build, you really want to get as much value from them as possible. It is imperative that the front line does hold. However, going in a block formation like this, as soon as you see enemy artillery is on the field, they're going to be in big trouble. But so far, some good targeting by the Hell Cannon, realising the Dragon Princes are the biggest threat to this build. There's not much anti-large here whatsoever, so the Dragon Princes would be able to crump it quite heavily. But the High Elves taking the initiative at this point, going to be pushing, driving forward towards the Chaos battle line, which is certainly a good idea. Dragon Princes are falling out of range at the moment of that pesky Hell Cannon, which is now going to be switching its target to those tightly compact Lothran Sea Guard. And oh, that's so disgusting! Half health after one shot. Clouds of dust, blood and puke coming through the lines there as Lothran Sea Guard do try to desperately get back on their feet. But one thing he does really well here is focus fires down the artillery crew. You can see that huge burst damage coming in, and this is where Logic has a bit of a problem. This front line is far too close to the Hell Cannon. It needs to be out over here taking the fight to the enemy. All they have is two units of Dragon Princes which can harass the back line. So these Mirror Guard, these Chaos Marauders are doing nothing back here. Needs to have the barrel way away from the Hell Cannon. If this was allowed to shoot for the majority of the battle, it's game over. It can kill all of the Sisters, the Sea Guard, the Silver Guard. It can put this game on its back, but unfortunately, he did deploy it too close to the front line, which is a mistake I see a lot of players doing. So you need to make sure that you have a nice buffer between the lines, because that has allowed the ranged forces to come forward and dish out the damage. Lovely Searing Doom, though, is coming down on the Everqueen's Court Guard, and Regrowth has been popped on them, though. It's going to be able to mitigate a decent amount of that damage. At this point, though, the Elves need to get a little bit aggressive. So do the Chaos. I don't think this was a tournament game, because, of course, at the moment, the Chaos would have to push forward. It looks like he just wants to tank the damage at this point, save up that Winds of Magic, and drop those bombs down upon the enemy line. Everqueen's Court Guard still doing some nice damage, though. Lothran Sea Guard as well, just currently vibing. Chaos Marauders are currently being focused down. Realistically, I like to see the targeting on the Exalted Heroes or the Mirror Guard. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of stalemate for a second here. I do know the battle does get underway in a second. Lovely little Searing Doom does come down the Everqueen's Court Guard. Currently, Flaming Sword of Rune are buffed on these troops. Again, if this was a tournament, the Warriors of Chaos, of course, would need to be attacking it by this point, but I think it was just a friendly game between these two champs, and it looks like they are now finally going to get underway. The Exalted Heroes do bound down onto the Silver Guard, who have now managed to surround the Everwatcher, doing some really nice damage to him. The Exalted Heroes are in a bit of a tricky situation. They're doing some nice burst damage, but the Lothran Sea Guard are going to be able to fight in. We have Dragon Princes who no longer have the threat of the Hell Cannon, keeping them back can now ride forward. If this heavy shot cavalry does indeed cycle charge into the front line, it's going to be a very scary situation. Although for now, it looks like they are trying to hunt down the Exalted Heroes, isolate them, and kill them. Everwatcher taking a huge damage here, down to about half health. Silver and God as well are about to be buffed up by Flame and Sword of Ruin, allowing them to carve their way through the Chaos Marauders with deadly efficiency. Chaos Trolls are pushing into the back line, bringing up some good pressure. Everqueen's Court Guard are pretty beat up by this point as well. Exalted Hero doing some nice work. Teclis needs to make sure he's in a nice safe pocket of strength. Good target here by this Exalted Hero. The girls from the Rangers, that is the type of target he really wants to get his teeth into. And a beautiful Seer and Doom. They've been done really well all game so far by the Warriors of Chaos, coming down, doing mass damage to the Lothran Sea God, but a huge Fiery Convocation is going to come in. Logic manages to dodge with the Chaos Marauders. Oh, and the Mirror Guard just about got out the way of the worst of it, taking huge damage, both the Chaos Marauders and those Mirror Guard there, but good micro presence by Logic, managing to dodge that throughout. Lothran and Seagull are continuing to fire in, peppering down the Mirror Guard, which is a good target. Dragon Prince is desperately trying to save this backline situation, surround Exalted Heroes. Love to see them do a little bit more cycle charging, but they are doing a good job in the back line. Everqueen's Court Guard pretty much spent at this point, and Teclis riding in to try to show his people, I'm here to fight alongside you. Going in after those Chaos Trolls and overcasting for his troubles. Although a big, lovely Flock of Doom is going to come in, catching a lot of the cheaper infantry there of the Chaos Forces. Lothran and Seaguard about to get a rather rude awakening in their rear hindy here, as Chaos Marauders with great weapons are going to start cleaving these little LVs apart, doing some really nice damage to them. They're not having a good time whatsoever. You can see their health dropping drastically. The Sylvan God, though, holding the front line, doing some lovely damage as well across the board for them. Of course, they are up against some of those Marauders. Everwatcher does get caught in a net here. Stand or Die was popped, it seems, but it looks like Teclis did drop that net in order to survive. And the Dragon Princes are on the ultimate babysitting duty, bouncing around, trying to surround the Exalted Heroes. We're going to see a lovely Seer and Doom once again coming in. Really interested to see how much the Everduck does do at the end of this battle damage-wise, because that has annihilated this unit of Dragon Prince's health pool. Not good for them whatsoever. And the great weapons are starting to come here and there. The Everwatcher is coming in as well. Although the Exalted Hero is in pretty big danger at this point. In the front line, 4 Chaos has absolutely buckled. It looks like these Marauders are about done at this moment. Another unit has come in though. Those great weapons doing some good work. Lothran, or Silver and Guard, I should say, are back-to-back. Sorry for the mistakes, guys. I did do a big live stream earlier today, so my brain is full of mush, but we shall push on. The Silver and Guard forming those mighty shield walls, pushing back the Viking Berserkers of the Chaos Marauder variety. In the back line, Dragon Prince is doing a decent job still, trying to shut down the Exalted Hero and save Teclis. It looks like they have just about managed to do their job. The pressure has been slightly eased off him. He does need to regrowth himself, which is a shame, because there's lots of winds of magic, which could be used elsewhere. But if he does fall, the forces of the Elves will certainly break and run for their lives. So they're going to be cutting back around the left-hand side. Marauders are cleaning up some of the Rangers. And in the front line, though, the infantry fight will be won by the Health Forces, not something you see every day, particularly up against the Warriors of Chaos. Chaos Marauders, though, are going to be getting in a bit of trouble. Silver and God are marching steadily towards them to the aid of their brethren. Going to get a nice surround on these guys. Marauders don't have the best leadership. You can see across the board they're starting to waver pretty bad. And Silver and Guard, in a long fight, will be able to bring down the Everwatcher as well. So this game's certainly not over yet, despite the fact that balance of power is quite heavily in Chaos' favour. And let's see, is Teclis still alive? It looks like once again he has been broken and forced off, which is a disaster. Exalted Hero is on the prowl, but he has managed to rally. If the micro is good enough from Flexe, he should be able to stabilise himself, and it looks like he has. Needs to wrap up and around all the way, trying to juke and avoid the hero here. The Exalted Hero actually breaks, just to do mean so ragged and broken at this point. Fiery Convocation is going to go down, but once again it looks like it has been spotted and juked. I think saving that to the late game would have been a little bit better when the big melee fight does inevitably begin. But still, nice little attempt, but well dodged there by Logic. Teclis still whipping around the side, trying to escape the Everwatcher. And in the main fight, the Silver and Guard have certainly been able to clean up all of these Warriors of Chaos as the fighting and routing does continue. Very close game here. Bounce Power has come slightly more to the middle. It looks like Teclis did heal up at one point and then has kind of brought himself back down once more. Everwatcher is going to be just pushing off the Dragon Princes, driving them away, floating on those mighty wings, and shatters them by his mere presence. Drags a couple of those beautifully heroic knights down to the dirt. And I say heroic, they've broken and betrayed their oaths. No good elves do stand here. Rangers are forming a last-ditch stand, as well as the Silverin Guard. They're trying to chase down some of the remainder Chaos Infantry here, and another Searing Doom is going to come down. Now, Silverin Guard do have a bit of magic resistance, but it's still going to hurt. Well-timed once again. You can see some big burst damage coming down on the infantry core. That's such a powerful spell. Up to 51 kills, doing good work. Marauders are now just going to run in and get destroyed. Or they're actually going to fall back here. Well, the Dragon Princes should have enough about them to chase them down and force them off the field. You can see a lot of the Marauders are wavering by the mere presence. And these princes, wanting to get vengeance for their former allies, are going to be lancing in here, and Marauders just break and flee, which is to be expected. A load of heavy cav chasing you down. I wouldn't want to stay around and have that fight even. All of the infantry is done, but we still have some very healthy Chaos Marauders. 2 units, pretty much, well, 3/4 health and full health. The Mirror Guard as well, 61, as well as Chaos Marauders coming in a column formation. They do march in 2 by 2. Teclis trying to survive where possible. Looks like a potion did heal him at one point as well. We'll have to see if he has any spells left. And this is where the Fire Convocation would have been really nice. Just cycling 1 unit of Silverin Guard, pin some guys in place, and then whip it through when you hit them in the rear as well by the Dragon Princes. The armies are starting to form up now. The Mirror Guard are charging in. It looks like the Trolls in the distance as well. Up to 47 kills have basically been able to regen up. Dragon Princes are going to be getting healed, but there's only 12 models left. So I think healing up some of the Silverin Guard maybe would be a better idea. And in come the Mirror Guard. The shield walls have been formed. The gigantic Everwatcher crashes in, sending the High Elves flying. But they're going to be able to do a decent amount of damage back, and if they can kill the Everwatcher here, they're in with a good shout, but he still has 2,200 health. Rangers are starting to get in here. They need to really do some good work on the Chaos Marauders, allow the Silverin Guard instead to fight the Trolls and Everwatcher, but good micro here by the Chaos player, pulling him out for whipping him back in once more, trying to do some cycle charging. Teclis just currently vibing on the flank so we can get some glorious close-up action. Silverin Guard are starting to break all around the battlefield, but elsewhere Rangers are carving up, dismembering limbs, carving off heads. Lovely slice and attack animations, but the giant chicken looking pretty scary here. The Elves do poke though at him with their mighty spears, but oh my god, a huge roar as Searing Doom does crash down on the High Elf forces. Teclis probably needs to man up a little bit here, get in there and try to duel the enemy, despite the fact he is heavily outclassed here in combat. Silverin Guard desperately trying to hold the line. Some are terrified away. Dragon Princess once again cycling into the fray onto those Chaos Marauders, doing some really lovely damage. Everwatcher getting a little bit low here, 1,200 health. Silverin Guard certainly starting to bring the pain as they hold the line. Dragon Princes are now wrapping up and around the flanks, looking to crash into the back of the Marauders. And if they do that, their leadership is so brittle right now, there's a good chance they can force them off the field. Rangers doing some good work on the Mirror Guard. Unfortunately for them, the Chaos Trolls are here, and the Everwatcher is going to continue to walk away where possible. More Silverin Guard can bring the pain if needed. Teclis dying into combat now, trying to finish off these Chaos Marauders. There's 69 of them still left, but despite this, the shock damage is too much for them, and they are exhausted. They're losing, and they're so close to breaking. This could be huge as all of the Chaos Warriors start to run for the hills. If they can chase off these troops and stop them coming back there with such a good shout, as the Armored Trolls have pathetic leadership. However, the Mirror Guard are standing firm, carving their way through Silverin Guard and Rangers, and the Everwatcher does cackle it in the distance. 1,000 HP left on him. Dragon Princes maybe considering going in for a final hurrah. Chaos Marauders though are being wrapped up by them so far. Balance Power has actually stayed dead even for such a long time now. We still have 45 Silverin Guard who can certainly finish off the Everwatcher here if he stays too long. But the Trolls are supporting. Likewise, 41 Mirror Guard. Up to 52 kills have been real good MVPs for the Warriors of Chaos so far. Teclis in the back lines, forcing off Chaos Marauders, doing some nice work to them. Silverin Guard, such a beat-up unit, use them to chase off this huge formation. Teclis needs to be over here inspiring the troops to greater feats of heroism. Dragon Princes going to the deep once more, 101 kills on those bad boys, but a Terror Out does go down. The Everwatcher, only 140 HP left, has managed to Terror Out the majority of the High Elf forces, and that screams a disaster. The Chaos Armored Trolls as well being so healthy is a big problem. The Dragon Princes do charge in once more, trying to break the Mirror Guard. I think they're better served whipping around and really trying to finish off the Everwatcher at this point. Teclis as well can go over there and do a little bit of damage. He may be a wizard, but he's still an elf. Still can pack a punch. But it looks like he's doing a good job forcing off all these Marauders, which is a really good idea. He cannot afford to have these guys come back to the fray. Incredibly close game here. Still pretty hard to call if the Silverin Guard can kind of rally. That Terror Out was pretty big, however, and there's not much that can kill the 12 Armored Trolls. However, if you do kill the enemy leader, of course, there's a huge negative impact on their morale, and that may be enough then with charges from all angles to force off the rather healthy trolls. Dragon Prince is considering going in for the kill. Everwatcher, 146 health. They do lower their lances and one big last push. They bring him down. Balance of power once again teeters in the middle of the battle. Dragon Princes do fall back though at this point, and they are broken. A lot of the Silver Guard are shattered. Only the Mirror Guard and Chaos Trolls remain, as Tekla is doing a fantastic job chasing off these troops, and this is some of the beautiful plays. So it was a little bit negative earlier on with those tightly packed formations, seeing the Hell Cannon there, and you know, which kind of has cost the High Elves really early on in the battle. But this here is something that I absolutely love, which new players really need to do. Chasing off units is so key. Not only is it helping the High Elves stabilize that balance of power and give them a chance, this is so much damage that could come back into the game, which now has been shut down for good. Silver Guard though being finished off by Chaos Trolls, and nice as well, kind of keeping together here of the Chaos forces. But fast forward, it looks like the kind of lads of the High Elves are slowly going to be making their way over now to the main engagement. Dragon Princes waiting for Teclis to catch up with them. And maybe if he has one more heal left, there is hope. It looks like if they do manage to break and completely shatter that unit of Chaos Marauders, they need to fall back though, and the Mirror Guard leadership is a little bit half health. Tekla though cannot afford to kind of run around the flanks here. He has to fight now. All the high health forces, looks like maybe he's trying to get over to these 21 Silver Guard. If he has one regrowth left and he pops it on those Silver Guard, I think the High Elves may actually maybe able to pull it off. If the Mirror Guard go down, those Silver Guard would be fantastic up against the Chaos Trolls here. Dragon Princes unfortunately have shattered. Balance power now going more and more in favour of the Warriors of Chaos. Sword of Teclis goes down on Teclis. Silver Guard fighting, charging heroically after the Chaos Trolls. Teclis as well engaging in hand-to-hand combat. And it looks like a Flaming Sword of Rune is going to go down, giving the fire damage to himself, plus the better stats. With the Troll's weakness to fire, this could be pretty huge. With the Silver Guard break, only 10 models left. The Chaos Trolls too much. And how often do we see Chaos Trolls survive to the end of the battle and win the day? Very, very rarely. But Teclis, the mighty elf, he fought well, I must say. He did fight very well. But unfortunately, the hacking blades of the Mirror Guard and Trolls are going to, a big kick to the face there, are going to be able to cleave Teclis down. I don't think there's any hope for him. And it looks like that is going to be a Pyrrhic victory to the Warriors of Chaos. Very well played to these two champs. Lovely stuff by both Logic as well as the mighty Flex. Always good to see these guys in action. As I spoke about before during the battle, loads of things I love, loads of things I didn't love tactically by both of these guys. Just going to go over them a little bit more in detail here. First and foremost, amazing target priority from the Hell Cannon. Focusing down the Dragon Princes, realising they are the biggest threat to his build. Yes, sisters are nasty, yes, the archers are nasty, but you can push through with your champions, you can push through with the Everwatcher, and they're not going to be able to kill all the infantry. The Princes cycle charging were going to be the big problem. So he focused them down before switching to the sisters and the Lothran Seaguard, which I absolutely love. A-star stuff there for Logic. But, as I spoke about before, the front line, I've seen so many players do this, is just you take the battle to the enemy. Leave your cannon in the back. You want the battle to take place as far away as possible from your artillery pieces, because then the cannon got absolutely wasted by the long-range troops, and that was what gave the High Elves a way back into the game. If that stayed alive, it would be nowhere near as close or scary. Likewise, from the High Elves, they needed to learn to pull and stretch out their forces as long as possible when you do spot that Hell Cannon. I understand being in a tight formation allows you to turn a lot quicker, which is really useful for ranged troops because they can take out threats from the sky, threats from behind and so forth, but as soon as you see that cannon, you need to spread as fast as possible. But likewise, brilliant play by him as well, chasing off troops that were routing towards the endgame, kept him in it. So great play by both players and some mistakes to learn from. Excellent stuff. Hope you guys did enjoy this battle. I will be going through the damage value and stuff in just a second, but if you enjoyed, feel free to give a big old thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe for more content, all that good standard YouTubey stuff. Down below in the description, you can find a link to my Patreon, where you can support the channel as well as get invited to exclusive events and tournaments that will be featured on the channel. We're going to be doing those in the next couple of weeks. There's also a link to my Discord where you can submit replays like this one, as well as get involved in the tournament scene, get involved in any streams I host, chill out with a load of cool guys, and see some really cool duck pictures. Anyway, on to the rest of the good stuff. So the Giant Bird, 103 kills, 3,717 damage value, an absolute MVP, some masterful Serum Dooms as well. dragging away the High Elf infantry. Both the exiled heroes, 1.5k kill here, 300 on the other, so one performing really well, the other one unfortunately getting dragged down by getting pinned in by Dragon Princes and so forth, and the Marauders across the board really struggled. Even the Great Weapon ones, who did a lot better than the standard variety, some of them getting closer to 700 damage value here and there, unfortunately due to the Dragon Prince play, were shut down quite heavily. Mirror Guard performed much better, and also their stability in the ender stages of the game really helped out, 865 value on them. But these Chaos Trolls, MVP, so good, 1,600 damage value, 129 kills, and being full health at the end of the game. Insane work by them, always love to see it. And the Soul of Damnation, despite the fact it basically got shut down, in the very early stages of the game, still got 1.8k damage value. If it was able to shoot, it would have won the game hands down. But good target priority as well. Recognizing archers are fantastic up against artillery crews by Kieran here. The Sisters, 1.2k damage value. Lothran Seaguard, 1,500. Silver and Guard, amazing across the board. 1,100 damage value. 1,400, 700, 1,000. Been an absolute stable, solid core. The anvil from which the Dragon Princes could become the hammer. 110 kills, 2,000 damage value. The other one struggling a bit, but it was focused down early on by the Hell Cannon. 840 health there. Teclis coming in with the spells, which is what he's really here for, but still getting a pretty solid 800 damage value, 7.5k damage dealt. Beautiful play. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.